In my letters to all, and those who receive a copy of those letters know what I'm talking about, and the courts and various government agencies and so forth all get a copy of this, and I've challenged anyone, it's an open challenge for anyone to go through the trial transcripts and tell me where the officers testified, for example, that I actually committed any offense such as obstruction and assaulting a police officer. And my challenge is this: if somebody can point that out to me, then I will stop appealing and no one will hear from me again. Hello, today is May 7th, 2018, and the time is 6:13 p.m. Welcome to my world. I just want to do a little update to everyone regarding my case, still ongoing. There has been some progress with regards to my case. I'm not going to get into all the details, but everyone does appear to be saying the same thing, that I never had a fair trial. And there have been so many errors by so many different people over so many years. So I have my fourth lawyer now who is dealing with the Court of Appeal, which is one step above the Queen's Bench appeal, which is one step above the trial. I've learned a lot, well, I wouldn't say a lot, but I've learned some information with regards to the officer who I allegedly assaulted and obstructed, and well, his career path, well, his new career path speaks for itself. I just wanted to thank everyone for their support over the years in various ways, and I did a video weeks ago. Don't even remember what I was ranting about, but it made sense and was important at the time, and maybe it's still important. I'll know when I review it. It seems as if when dealing with people's opinions, there's a whole spectrum of different opinions. For example, one lawyer would say there's no merit to any of my appeals. Another lawyer will say there's no merit to the sentencing appeal but the conviction appeal, and another lawyer is saying there's merit to both. It's when dealing with cases that are solely based on opinion, this is where all the complexity and nonsense comes into play. We have an opinion of, for example, a Queen's Bench judge who, for whatever reason, dismissed the conviction appeal. We have an opinion of a trial judge. Whether it's tainted or not can't be proven, but it's all opinions. This even goes to the opinion of, or the alleged opinion of the officer, who's no longer an officer, claiming that my facial expression of being perplexed was anger and all these opinions. No crime has been committed, so everything has to be opinion. And then if you go further back, this whole thing started with the opinion of others believing a false accusation by a female. Keep in mind, at that time, there was another male colleague who was also accused. And if you met this guy, nice guy, but scared of his own shadow. Anyway, one of the biggest problems that we have is opinions based on uninformed conclusions being stated as a fact and repeated. And if you tell a lie long enough, it's accepted as fact. And this is my problem. One of the disadvantages for many people in society, the human gene pool, and there's been numerous experiments in the alleged psychology field where they have convinced people of committing a crime that they never committed. Take, for example, there was an experiment here in Canada, I believe it was in the 60s, where women were being institutionalized in mental institutions for things that today are not, we understand what the problem is. For example, after a woman has a baby, they go through all these different emotional scenarios. Back then, they thought it was mental illness. There was one lady who they spent 6 months convincing her that she killed her family as an experiment. And they would put 24/7 an auto recorder under her pillow and just have this thing looped that she killed her family. 6 months later, they released her. She met her family, and they were like, "What are you talking about? You killed us." Long story short, she committed suicide. And all they wanted to see was how this would play out. Now, if I recall correctly, there was a lawsuit, and the surviving family members had won. There's also videos of people, trying to remember what it's called. It had to do with implanting false memories. I'm sure if you look it up online, you can find the videos. And there's one particular female who takes pride in the fact that she can implant false memories into people. And she uses the example of people being convinced they committed a crime. And she goes on to say how they would use some truthful parts of their, say, childhood, and then mix in a bunch of lies, and in a period of time convince the person whatever they want. And she also addresses the fact that there's a danger to this, especially when it comes to testimonies. And a lot of people, especially coming from who they deem an authority figure, would convince them that, okay, well, yeah, maybe I did commit a crime, and then to the point of, okay, I accept it. But I'm not accepting it. When this all took place, I had emailed myself notes of the event as soon as I was able to when I came out of the hospital, because it was important for me to put it into print so I don't forget. And it's a good thing, because over the years, like anyone, people's memory can be kind of changed to some degree. Now with me, the trauma of the whole event has engraved itself into my memory. So, but there's still a lot of details which, when I look over those notes, those initial notes, there's aha moments that I forgot or whatever. Added to all that, I also rely on the audio recordings prior to the May 4th, 2013 event and after the May 4th, 2013 event. These are the things that I'm relying on with regards to my case. These are the things that remind me that yes, I am innocent. Now, going to this assessment briefly, and I'm not going to get into the specifics of it, but there appears, according to this assessment, merits on many levels. And there has been a recently decided case which mentions my case as case law, and it was very troubling, to say the least. I became physically ill, realizing that people are actually using my case as case law in their cases to argue a point. And one thing I've learned is that case law cannot be relied on to set any precedent or to be persuasive, because whatever is contained in case law may be incorrect, may be untruthful, may be completely false, like with my case. So if it could happen with my case, then how many other case laws are people relying on which have no basis in reality? Which brings me to another point. One of the comments in the assessment is the fact that there's elements to my appeal process that I included that have no basis in law. And I understand that. I knew that when I was introducing all that, but it does have a basis in reality, which is important. And unfortunately, there's a difference between what I've observed. There's a difference between a basis in law and a basis in reality. No different than a lot of pseudosciences. Anyway, so there's that case that was mentioned where an appeal judge ruled against the trial judge that I had with the interpretation of the conduct of the police and what's lawful. It's all classified because there's an investigation, which is stupid to begin with. Everything's a secret. The only time you have a secret is when you're trying to hide something. And what I find the most frustrating is that anything that I say or I present is in question. I allege this, I allege that. The information that I've given, the facts of the case, is all that's in question. But yet, when an officer or anyone in authority says something, it's presented as, well, this is a fact, which is wrong. Which reminds me that I'm being tried, and I'm being convicted, and appealing my case in a jurisdiction that has invested interest in seeing me remain guilty because of a lawsuit. So you can see behind me my view, and over to my left I have a nice fire going. Never dreamt my life would be like this at this time. Anyway, so I'll record some more tomorrow. Hello, today is May 8th, 2018, and the time is 6:18 p.m. I really don't have much to say. You know, the past 5 years, I've been let down by people within the system that promised to help. Whether they deliberately threw my case under the bus or not, I don't know. But, sorry, there's a bee buzzing around. So as I was saying, I've been let down by people who said they would help me. And do I trust this lawyer number 4? No, I don't. Don't trust anyone. But I've learned a lot in the past 5 years, and my journey began trying to understand why I went through all this. And I realized that it's not just me. I didn't think it was ever me, but until I researched what happened or what's happening to civilization, who knows? And what I discovered, what I narrowed it down to, and no one can disagree, that the problems that we're facing across the board on any topic are busybodies. And I've mentioned this before in other videos, and it's because of them everything has fallen apart. Now you can tie in busybodies to, for example, feminism. You can tie this into politics, anything. When people think that they're doing the right thing, they can do anything, even if it's beyond imagination of destruction. So, going back to my case, sitting here, I can't help but not think about it. I try to enjoy the scenery around me, and no, that's not a green screen behind me. I don't even know how to set that up. I'm a real human being with feelings, and as someone had said, I've been put on the conveyor belt of conviction as making a criminal, and I need to get myself off. There are plenty of real crimes and real criminals. They seem to carry on with life, and even if they get dinged for it, they don't really seem to care. So they fill in the gaps with innocent people. Numerous innocent people, like myself. Doing everything that I can just to keep my shit together. And I want to thank everyone for watching this video and your comments, your subscriptions, and to those who've joined my Facebook group, thank you. Anyway, I'll record some more later. Cheers. Hello, today is May 9th, 2018, and the time is 4:46 p.m. It's a very cold day today with lots of rain. Maybe you can hear it in the video. One thing I must say, I do have a lot of time to think. And one of the things that keeps running through my head is pound of flesh. I was told not too long ago, with regards to my case, that, well, at least they got their pound of flesh. And my reply to that was, for nothing. I can't believe it's 5 years now, and I'm still dealing with this. I really have no choice but to have this fourth lawyer now. And as I said before, I'm not going to be getting into the details of my case, but as much quote-unquote hope there is, I also have a few concerns, but it is what it is. I hope everyone is doing better than I am. Hello, today is May 10th, 2018, and the time is 9:08 a.m. We are all actors, and we all have a role to play. I'll never forget the trial judge saying that to me, as if whatever it is that they want to impose is supposed to be my role. I refused to be made into a criminal. Now, those words that the judge said, very specific, I understood, because his words have actually two meanings. and there is an appropriate answer, which I didn't want to give. I hope that through my efforts in sharing my journey, others can learn from it and, well, maybe it's what's needed to wake people up, make changes in the system. All too often, innocent people are convicted, more times than most people would want to accept or admit to. This has got to change. I've talked about many different things that I've learned over time, my case. There's really nothing more that I can say. I didn't ask to be in this position. I'd rather not be. It's been a long, hard journey. And I need to be taken off the conveyor belt of a criminal. It's important for people to own the wrongs that they've done. Not wrongs based on the opinion of others. Because there are many things in life where somebody might disagree, but it doesn't mean it's wrong. The wrongs that I'm talking about are obvious wrongs. You've done something wrong, own it. There's actually a video about this, owning your wrongs, or owning a situation. Am I perfect? No. But by no means am I a criminal. Is there things about me, my opinions, for example, that others might question? Like, for example, pineapple on pizza. Personally, pineapple on pizza, awesome. Actually, pretty much anything on pizza is awesome. Pizza is awesome. I hope wherever you are, and I know right now at this moment you're watching a video, you're listening to me talk, but I hope that everything is well in your life. And if it's not, keep pushing forward. Be prepared, overcome, adapt, and move forward. It's probably the best advice to give anyone. I wish you all peace. Take the time to enjoy everything that you can in the day or night. Learn from the hard times and cherish the good times. Don't dwell on anything, lest you be consumed. Make others' lives happy, and in return, you'll find happiness yourself. I wish you all well. the courts have very strict security measures when you're going through the main doors. You basically have to take off all metal and go through metal detectors and take articles of clothing off for their safety. And we also see the police being all hyped up, worrying about their safety. And they tell people, well, these precautions are because of crazy people. Well, the few times in history that something did happen at places like this or with police, it's not that it's the crazy people they're worried about. It's all the innocent people that they have condemned. And their concern is some innocent person is going to say enough and do something stupid.